Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Roxana here with Soil and Margaritas, and I am so excited that I get to finally show you the space that I have for starting all of my seeds, all of my seedlings that I'm going to be using in my garden in 2022. If you notice this room, I had all of my house plants right here in the corner. I actually even make that that arch. And I just needed to work with the room. I needed to work with the space, and I decided to move my shelves over here, the beautiful 2 shelves that I have here. Also give me a little bit of a break because I have this camera that I'm trying. I am going to show you what I have. It's basically the same thing that I had last year, except in a new location. Same lights, same things that I'm going to be using. I am doing a little bit of an upgrade with the containers that I'm using this year. I decided to go ahead and invest in some of the bootstrap farmer containers for seed starting. They are amazing, by the way. So that's the only thing that I'm going to be changing a little bit this year. So let me show you the whole room and talk about the things that I'm using. So let's start. Both of the shelving units that I have that I'm using for this year are the same unit from Lowe's. This will be my 3rd year starting plants from seed, and the first year I only used one of the shelving units. I didn't think that I was going to need more than that. I was definitely wrong. I got addicted to seed starting, and last year, my 2nd year, I added the 2nd shelving unit, and I think that that's about it. I could definitely keep on adding units, but that's plenty for me for right now. I am going to put the measurements on the screen so you can have an idea of how big these pieces are. My husband helped me put this together. It wasn't really that big of a deal, but definitely you need a second set of hands to put this together. And actually, if you notice, one of the shelving units has an extra wood cage at the very top. That is because this was my only unit that I had the first year, and towards the end of the seed starting process, when my seedlings were already huge and going and taking all the space, I needed some extra shelf to attach some lights at the very top and to just have an extra shelf basically. So my husband did that sort of caging with some wood that we had in the garage, and I took the lights off of that shelf, but I might be adding some quick lamps that I have there in case I have that need for an extra shelf. The lights that I am using are LED shop lights. They are not growing lights. I don't use growing lights only because I am not trying to get my plants to give me fruit or to get to bloom here indoors. I am only using them to basically get them going, get ahead of the game with using plants that are already big enough before I put them outside. So these are the lights that I found. They are available on Amazon. And this is how they come. They sell them in sets of 4 or 10 or 12. But anyway, I have an extra couple of lights here, and these are, I believe, can't remember. I think these are T5s or T10s. I can't remember, but I will put the information. I will put all links for everything that I have here, everything that I'm using in the description below. But these are basically the ones that I have. I love them because they're really bright, they're strong, and they definitely are, I think, the best lights that I am using for starting seeds indoors. But you do have plenty of choices out there for LED lights that you can use for growing your own seeds indoors. Because my shelves are really deep, they're not your regular, shelving unit where you can just put one of these flats this way. I am able to fit them all the way, as you can see here, all the way in. I can fit 4 of them easily there, and I don't have to be fighting with room. And because of that, because they're really deep, I am able to use 4 of these LED lights in one shelving unit. I could probably get away by only using 3 of these units, maybe even 2. 2, I think that it will be pushing it. But I'm using 4 of these LED lights on each shelf, and that works perfect for me. In some of these shelves, I still have I am still using my original lights that I purchased 2 years ago. These are the Barilla type, vanilla, wait, something like that. Because they are somewhat of a less strength in power in lumens, I am using 6 of these guys in the shelves. Again, you can probably get away with 4 for this type of lights. I am not using them anymore. As you can tell, these are the ones that came with like the frosted covering. I removed that cover to make sure that I had a brighter light, a brighter effect. I did that. I knew that I was risking the warranty on these lights, but that was a personal choice. If I do not recommend that you do that unless you know that you cannot return these lights. But for me, these worked great the first year. They actually worked great. It wasn't until last year where I upgraded my lights and I did all of that. So I will also add links for these lights that I have here if you want to check them out. Like I say, they worked for me the first year and there is really nothing wrong with them. All of the lights that I have here on each shelf are connected to each other. So let me explain. All of the lights that I have on each shelf are connected to each other at the end so that they all turn on and off at the same time. The lights came with their own little cables to connect them to each other, but also each light came with their own cable for plugging it in, and the cable also has an on and off button, so that's very, very convenient. Depending how you have your grow area set up, you might need these cables for 2 or 3 lights or 4 lights or 6 lights, depending what you're using. But I think that having the option of having the cables to connect 4 or 6 together is very convenient. And these lights, every shelf it's on a timer, so sometimes if I don't have enough seedlings to fill all 4 shelves, I don't need to have all four of them on. So it's super convenient having your timers, some sort of timer set up so that your lights turn on in the morning and they turn off at night. At least that works for me. The way that I have the LED lights attached on each shelf is basically a piece of wood. I believe it's a 1x2 that I got at Home Depot. I already got it pre-primed. I didn't even paint it. You can see the ends over here. I didn't even bother to paint them. That's okay, it works for me. And I basically grabbed some galvanized straps and some chain and some hooks, and I put it together, and I think that they came out really good. I used the chain and the hooks to basically lower or raise the lights as I need them, and it works for me. It works for what I have here. There are a lot of ways to do this, you guys. If you are interested in setting up your own grow room, seedling area indoors, and you're looking to buy some lights and do your own thing, go ahead and do your research. This is not the only way to do this. This is not the best way to do this. This is just my way, so I am happy to share it. And if you do have any questions with anything that I'm showing you here, please let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer you. I may not know a lot of things, but I do know a couple of things from the last 2 years from growing plants from seed. So this year I decided to go with bootstrap farmer for containers. I am really just done with the quality that I get from the stuff that you can buy at your, at your local store, the blue store, the orange stores, Menards, Meijer. There's nothing wrong with those. However, I feel like they're only for one season use. And what I mean about that is that the stuff that you get at the store is like super cheap quality. These guys right here, if you have never tried anything from Bootstrap Farmers, I highly suggest that you look into their products if you are thinking about doing this year after year. These things are, my goodness, these things are really sturdy, really strong, and I know for a fact that these guys are going to be reusable year after year. I believe these have like a 2 or 3 year warranty. I got a bunch of these, like a regular 72 cells in the 6 package. They have like the whole tray, like, you know, the whole 72 tray in one piece. However, I like to use the ones that have just like the 6 groupings. That way I can just move things here and there if I need to. And I got a bunch of these 10 by 20 trays. These are, like I said, these are so strong. And my goodness, like when it comes time to hardening off my plants, you know, taking them outside, bring them in daily like that, these are going to be so handy when it comes to that. Look at that. I got a bunch of black ones, but I also got some color ones. I don't know if I have a favorite. I think that I really like the green. I don't know about the blue. I don't know. What do you guys think? At the end, it doesn't matter. The plants, the seeds, they do not care what color trays you're using. I also got a bunch of these 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch, and I think they're 3 inches tall. Really convenient, so I can pat them up from this size to this size. And I didn't really see anything on their website, but I am hoping to find something that is just a great quality as well, but it's bigger, maybe like a 4-inch container. If you guys have any recommendations for companies that you might use, or if you have any links for me from Amazon that I can look them up, I will really appreciate if you send me that. The first year that I bought, you know, I got my shelving unit, I got some containers. I also bought this heating mat, and this is great if you are starting seeds in areas where it's maybe a little bit cool. Maybe you are using your unheated garage, or maybe your basement where it stays, you know, like 60, 65. This will be great because a lot of the seeds, majority of the seeds need heat in order for germination to happen. I don't have that problem here in the room where I am starting my seeds. I keep the room between 70, 75, so I really have no need for these. Even my peppers, my spicy peppers, I just don't use the mat for them. But if you are starting your seeds in a place, maybe even your home, I know a lot of people in the winter, they keep their homes between 65 and 70. Maybe you wanna buy one of these. They are a little bit expensive, I think, so think about it. See if you can get away with not using one, unless you know that you are definitely going to need one. The seed starting mix that I'm going to be using for starting most of my seeds is this. This is not potting mix. This is not something that you will use in your containers or in your planters outside. This is just to get the seeds to germinate. And no, I don't work for them. I just really like this product. This is actually a bag that I have left from last year. The reason why I like this a lot is because it doesn't have peat moss. It uses coconut coir as a base, and I really like that. I know that a lot of you have been thinking about using something else other than peat moss, so this will be a great product for you guys to use. And I also like it because I can find it locally really easily. I can find it at Lowe's, at Menards. I believe Home Depot also carries this, so go ahead and check them out. But also, just like I mentioned that I am investing in some of the Bootstrap Farmer containers, this is my 3rd year, so I am looking into getting things that I can use year after years. But if you're just starting out and you don't want to spend a lot of money on containers that you might not even use a 2nd or 3rd year, just go ahead and use your regular containers that you have left over from buying fruit, or even your meat or vegetables at the grocery store. I used this last year for starting a lot of things, and they work great. Really, they work great for me. I normally don't use a humidity or a moisture dome on any of the seeds that I try, but if I have a container that already has the lid attached to it, then I might be using it because it's already there. But I personally don't use any humidity dome for any of the seeds that I start, and I have been getting great results without them. So again, if you are probably starting your seeds in a basement or somewhere cooler, maybe you want to think about that. Another thing that I'm going to be reusing again this year are these little plug trays. These are regular 10 by 20 size trays, but the plugs are really, really tiny. I don't know if you can tell here, but I have 288 plugs here. And yes, they are tiny, but they work great. The only thing that I do that I did last year, because last year was my first year using them, is that if I am starting something, obviously I don't have the need to start 288 plants all at once of something. I mean, I don't. So what I did is that I will just cut, because they're not like the best quality, even though they're kind of strong. I am able to just cut however many plugs I need all at once. And that's what I started doing last year. I started a lot of things this way. I am going to be using them again. I'm going to put the link in the description of where I purchased them, but I think that I needed to buy 10 of them or 20 of them at once. I can't remember. So I have tons of them. I mean, I am good for a while, and I know that I have other containers that I already cut up that I have that are probably already up there with my storage. But these are great if you want to have, like, I know that I'm going to start all of my Snapdragons and Alyssum here, and they're just going to go really, really great. I follow Gary from The Rusted Garden on YouTube and on Instagram, and I think 2 years ago he recommended these fan lights. I call them fan lights. They really do not move. It's just the shape. They're the shape of a fan. This is just like an LED bulb. I guess you can think of it that way, right here. And he recommends getting a clamp light. I think that's what these are called. And it's just like a bulb. You will put them anywhere. If you are starting seeds, only, you know, a handful of these, a handful of that, then this is definitely a great way for you to grow them indoors without having to buy any, you know, any of the larger, more expensive LED lights. And I love these because I can just clamp them anywhere, and I can just move these the way that I need to. Just coming along, okay? And they work great for me. If you are only starting, if you are just starting out and want to try just a handful of seeds, these are one of the great options out there, I think, in my opinion, for starting small. And I have a bunch of these because the first year, like I said, I needed that extra shelf on one of my shelving units, and I was growing like crazy seedlings, and I got a bunch of these just to pop on the side of my shelving unit. I attach this to the side of the unit, and I will just have the seedlings on the floor, and that worked for me. Sometimes you just have to figure out your space, your budget, and go from there. That's really it, you guys. I think that I show you everything here that I can possibly think of as far as my area for starting seeds indoors. I know that you probably have a lot of questions. I probably forgot to mention something, but let me know in the comments if you do have any specific questions about something, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. I am going to do another video after this about storing my seeds and how I organize them, when I'm going to start them, and all of that. And I might actually start some seeds, some geranium seeds that I have that I should probably be starting soon. I don't know yet, but that's it. I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Let me know what you think. Did you guys start any of your seeds yet? What are you starting first? I am excited. I cannot wait to start my plants from seed, and I will see you on the next video.